Hello, fellas and ladies. Let's continue on with that dastardly TIFF coverage. I got a little more to go, so I'm going to power through. But I should mention that I have a full article out on Bite Size Breakdown that breaks down everything I saw and even ranks them in order from least liked by me to most liked by me. So, go read. Next up, I got Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, directed by Matt Johnson, based on the show created by Matt Johnson and Jay McCarroll. Like the show it's based on, Matt and Jay play versions of themselves, who are struggling musicians who come up with absurd ways to have the band play at the Rivoli, a local Toronto hub, and we see them run around Toronto trying their best to get this objective done when something pretty big and cinematic happens. I don't know if it's public knowledge what that thing is. It kind of is the plot, but I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. First thing, right off the bat, if you have not seen the show, you'll be fine. There's a couple references to the show that are part of the plot, but you don't worry, it's not like you won't get the reference or anything like that. That's not a thing in the show. I've seen most of the show, but just as a brief breakdown of how this show operates. Basically, Matt Johnson and Jay McCarroll play versions of themselves. Matt Johnson's a little more airheaded. Jay is a little more like the straight man. They're in a band called Nirvana the band. No relation to the other one. Like I said, Matt writes an idea on the whiteboard how to, work, get the band to play at the Rivoli. And a lot of the show is them with a loose script running around Toronto and performing stunts. This film is very similar to that. They definitely up the ante. Holy fuck did they up to the ante. But they have that quasi-documentary format still there. It's kind of like Borat in that way, if you know what I'm talking about. Where they're in character, but they're interacting with real people who don't know they're in a movie. So the web series worked, that's how the show worked, and that's how this worked. And then this is your first exposure to Nirvana, the band, the show. No, I don't know how they have not been arrested like 100 times. They do some crazy shit in this movie. This movie is a miracle. Yes, it's very funny. It's hilarious. Like, I was laughing so much, and some points I was pissing myself laughing. It is a exciting, hilarious movie, but this is a fucking movie. This isn't just a feature-length version of the show. This is a movie. There is a plot, there is a structure, there is so much going on in this movie. It's very smart. I love seeing the way Matt and Jay walk around, run around Toronto. Yeah, there are some references, to Toronto that, I get, since that's where I live. I guess if you're not from there, you're going to be out on some inside jokes. I guess that's true. But I still think there's a lot to laugh at in this movie. It's a very funny thing. But even then, it's kind of hard not to watch this movie and go, how did they do this? How did they make this movie where they're doing these crazy stunts? There's one stunt in particular, you're like, that's illegal. There's a lot of illegal things going on in this movie. But it really does take the show's concept to real lengths. It really is worthy of a film and not just something you're supposed to watch on the big screen. There is a big plot going on at hand that there's certain things that I don't really quite know how they're able to pull certain things off. But more than that, how did they get this big complicated concept off the ground while with a loose script? It's a real treat for anyone who loves movies, because it's so cinematic. It's smart. It's also endearing. It feels like a real tribute to Jay and Matt's friendship and what this thing that they built together, in their dingy apartment. And they have a real treat. They really love making movies together or making comedy and entertainment together. And this movie really exemplifies that in a metaphorical way, and just a tribute to how much these guys love each other and friendship in general. It made me think about my friends. But get that aside for 1 second. This movie's so much fun. There's so much ridiculousness going on. The way this movie's put together and edited, the way that they kind of break norms. I can't give away what the plot exactly is, but let's just say that there's a way that Matt's character finds something out, and the way it's done is super funny. I love this sense of humor that these guys have. I love Blackberry, obviously, and the way Matt Johnson just has such an interesting touch with film, and just didn't go the lazy route with this movie, because it's so smart. This movie is genuinely brilliant. It's a miracle and a treat of a movie that I hope people in audiences watch, because oh my god, how did they pull this off? The Q&A, every time I just want to hear more about how they made this movie, because every time I hear something from a Q&A, I'm like, oh, what? The best way I can put it is that there is a plot point involving a form of violence, and while they were shooting Drake's home, there was a shooting at Drake's house in Toronto, and they were able to like fuck around with that, where it's like they're kind of breaking the law again, but like, but that's kind of what makes this movie so funny, is kind of obviously laughing and being in awe of the plot and the writing, and the loose writing, I should say, and the improv skills that these two have, and just kind of going, how did they do this? This is a movie. Like a movie for cinephiles. I think this is going to have a great legacy attached to it. Obviously, I don't think it's going to break the box office, but I really hope that it finds an audience, because this is truly something for everybody here. I think that the legacy of Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie is going to like be set in stone, hopefully when it comes out in February or a little bit after. It truly doesn't matter if you've never seen the show. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie is an unforgettable, hilarious feat of filmmaking that's both like side-splitting and sincerely smart in its storytelling, while being endearing but truly hard to understand how they pulled something like this off. And for that, I'm going to give Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie 9.5 bottles of Orbits out of 10. I can't fucking wait to see this again. This is easily one of the best movies I've seen in a while. I'm really happy with the state of comedy that I've seen this year with Naked Gun and Friendship, and now Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. I am obsessed with this movie, and I think you will too. So with that in mind, let's come and share. Why not, shit? Just have some fun with it.